Jarovit, Jarovit was a god of war worshipped especially by the Polabian Slavs along the Elbe River. Some say he's a local variation of god Perun. Others consider him to be a solar deity in charge of fertility, harvest and youth as well. Not much is really known of this interesting and powerful deity. Some things have been recorded in historical books, but majority has almost certainly been forgotten. When St. Toto came to the town of Hobbling, the local population had already rejected Christianity and decorated the town with flags in honor of god Jarovit. Otto sent two of his disciples to Volgosh, where the temple of Jarovit was located, in order to fight the pagan demons. Otto's biography also brings us quite a plastic picture of Christian heroic fighters against the pagans and their demons. There is a legend that god Jarovit appeared to some people and told them that Christianity should not be accepted or all the non-Christian population would suffer and many would die. Christians of course claimed that it was not God who appeared, but a certain pagan priest fooling the people. They also claimed it was a demon who appeared. Given the fact that soon many crusades and wars against pagans of Northern Europe followed, where many non-Christians suffered and even more died, it is easy to deduce whether or not it was indeed god Jarovit who warned his people against accepting Christianity. Because in the end, gods are never wrong. This is an interesting story and you will be able to learn more about it in a future standalone video exclusively about that interesting episode, described in a historical source, a biography of St. Otto. It is known that a sacred item of god Jarovit was a large shield covered with gold plates, which no man could touch and which would be taken out only in times of war. In maintaining the natural order, god Perun received help from Veles, Volos, Voloch, meaning perhaps the ruler, in the form of their eternal struggle. Veles is a god of nature, secret knowledge of natural laws, and a god of magic, also god of underworld. Old Slavs would invoke his name as well when taking oaths. Sometimes he was worshipped as a protector of animals and farmers. He was also a god of boon. Veles was associated with dragons and serpents. In some Slavic myths he was depicted as half snake with horns and long beard. It is said that Veles lived among the roots of the tree of life in the world of the dead. Some legends say that his land of the dead is beyond the sea. Often Veles was considered to be shepherd of the dead, whom he would feed on the green fields in the land of the dead. From the land of the dead he would often steal Perun's cattle. Thus Perun would chase him all over the world, striking at him with his lightnings. At the end of each cycle, Perun would kill Veles and drive him to the underworld. After that, Perun would bring back the order, return to the tree of life and instruct Veles that this is where he belongs and where he should stay. Old Slavs did not consider Veles to be an evil god or some form of a devil. As a god of the underworld, Veles would send the souls of the dead to this world as his messengers, usually in a period from the beginning of January to the end of February, when, so the Slavs believed, the borderline between this world and the underworld is the weakest. Dashbog is a son of Svarog. He is a god's son, a master of earth, also a god of war, a god of fertility, god of precious metals, giver of wealth, but also a god gatekeeper of the underworld. In Slavic legends he often appears in a form of a lame wolf. According to the legends, a huge statue of Dabog was erected near Kiev, Ukraine, by Prince Vladimir the Great in 980, along with statues of other gods. Dabog is one of the gods worshipped among all the Slavic nations. According to Russian epic poem Letter of Igor's People, Slovo o polku Igoreve, Dabog is considered to be the great ancestor of all the Slavs. All Slavs believe that Dabog drove golden chariot in the sky, pulled by 4 white horses. The horses had fiery mane and golden wings. It was believed that the sunlight comes from a fiery shield placed on his golden chariot. Also, in the morning and before the sunset, all Slavs believed that Dabog would cross the ocean and the seas in his ship, pulled by the wild geese, ducks and swans. For that reason, old Slavs used to make powerful talismans, with 2 wild geese and a head of a horse depicted on it. Svarozhich is a young sun god, a god of fire and hearth. He is a son of god Svarog, and thus a child of heaven, and a keeper of his father's fire. He is a benefactor, protector of life. He radiates with warmth and light, but at the same time he can be a destroyer. Thus he was also worshipped as a god of war and fighter against evil forces. His fire, although destructive force, is also a symbol of purification and rebirth. Polabian Slavs worshipped especially Svarozhich. To him were sacrificed men and animals. Svarozhich had a hat on his head as a protection against the heat, while in his right arm he held a horn of abundance. He also had a sword which he would use to kill evil spirits while galloping on his horse. His idol was placed in a temple with his flags that were removed only in case of war, and then only by foot soldiers. Historical sources say also this of how Svarozhich was worshipped. When they, the Slavs, are threatened by the cruel misfortune of war, a great boar with white tusks and glistening with foam emerges from the lake, and wallowing in the mire with terrible agitation shows itself to many witnesses.